Hey guys, it's Courtney. It's late on Thursday night, but I wanted to knock this video out. So we are talking about Bruce Jenner this week on Gender Roles Are Dead. Our opinions on his coming out, how we feel about that, and just the overall effect of his coming out and people coming out as trans in the community, and so on and so forth. So I just want to start by, I already touched on Bruce a couple of videos ago, and I believe he's still going by Bruce and still by male pronouns right now. I don't think an announcement has been made yet, so I'm just going to keep going with that. I think the whole coming out thing was amazing, especially at his age. It takes a lot of courage to come out that late in life. Me and Chris actually just watched Transparent, and it parallels that story a lot, in my opinion. And I mean, that's obviously fictional, but it was really touching. So I can only imagine true life, like how that played out in his family. But good for him for having the courage to come out and to make himself happy. And that's really what it comes down to when people come out as trans or come out in general, is it's really just about their happiness, not really about anybody else, even though people like to make coming out about themselves. So I think that the biggest thing about the Bruce Jenner transitioning is, even though some people didn't like the big to-do that they made of it, and like that he got the whole hour-long special or whatever, when stuff like this happens, it's good because it shines a light onto a subject that does not usually get talked about that often. Right now, Laverne Cox is huge within the queer community, within the transgender community, advocating for transgender rights. But she's shining a light on the MTF side of things, so it's nice to have a little bit of a light shined on the other side. I think that's great. I think it is a hard place to put celebrities in, because when somebody comes out as trans or as gay, we automatically put them on this pedestal, like they need to be representative of, you know, every trans person or every gay person, and it's not really fair because they're just people too. So people need to let Bruce transition in his own time and handle in his own way and use whatever pronouns he wants to use. I've seen people who are upset that he was still using male pronouns, hasn't changed his name and whatever. But it's each person's own journey. So while it's awesome that his coming out is educating some people who otherwise haven't ever learned anything about transgender people, people also need to understand that it is his life and that he deserves his privacy, and if he doesn't want to make it public, which, I mean, he probably will, the Kardashians make everything public, that's his right. On that note, I touched a little bit on Laverne Cox. It's awesome. It's amazing the attention that she's gotten in the community and how accepted that she's been in the community. Her role in Orange is the New Black really helped to catapult her, because it was mainstream, and mainstream enough to get people who aren't just trans to see this character and to get a little bit of education on what it means, which is great, because before Laverne was, you know, a big name in Hollywood, there was really just Chaz Bono and Patricia Arquette, and people like that. Like, those are the people that my mom and her generation know. And so there's really just not that much, there aren't that many people advocating for trans rights or educating people on being transgender or just being transgender role models. But seeing more and more role models for transgender people and for queer people in general is awesome. There is now that Jazz Jennings girl, she's 14, I think, and she is clean and clear? I don't know. some face wash spokesperson now, and she's getting her own show on TLC. She had a write-up in The Advocate and all this other stuff, so that's awesome. Because she's so young, and that's great. It's great to see the visibility increasing. But again, these people are people, so sometimes, especially with like Bruce coming out, there was a lot of hate on the internet where people think that they can say whatever they want just because these people are celebrities, but celebrities are people too. So I just think that everybody needs to understand that it is each of these people's right to their privacy to come out or not come out. Bruce had no obligation to anybody to come out. He could have transitioned without ever announcing it, and that's his deal. I think the same thing goes for people who are gay. There's a lot of stigma with coming out, especially in Hollywood. If women come out as gay or bisexual, then it's harder to market them for men to like, and the same for men coming out as gay or bisexual, because it's an industry where sex sells. So if you don't really fall into that really easy, sexy box, I mean, for lesbians you could be sexualized, and for bisexuals you can be sexualized, but it's hard. I've seen stuff circulating on Tumblr recently about Kristen Stewart because a lot of people are expecting her to come out, whatever. There's a lot of speculation about her and her gal pal, which is hilarious, just the terminology. But I saw a post that was pretty spot on that said that she's already one of the most hated people in Hollywood, which is completely unfounded in my opinion. But her coming out wouldn't make her life any easier. She would get a lot of hate for it, just for being open and being honest. And so I think being a celebrity and being gay and being trans and being queer is hard. The queer community is hard to please, and so is the straight community. So not only do you have to represent a minority, you have to be good enough for that minority that you're representing. So I think good for Bruce, good for every person who comes out, and every person who's willing to step into the shoes to be a representative for their community. And it's a little rambly. I hope that I made some sense, and I hope that you guys have a good rest of your week.